It's time for a little optimistic speculation. These are the first looks we have into Modern Warfare's multiplayer, and I'm sure you've seen videos on this and people going, what could it mean? And you know what? In today's video, we're going to be looking at what could this mean? But I'm going to try to keep this optimistic because I've ranted enough about Call of Duty and things I don't want to see, so we're going to talk about some nice ideas I get from these pictures. I didn't make a video on this yesterday because, well, I don't know, I wanted to think about it a little bit longer, and I've come up with some more positive conclusions, so join me in some speculative hype, or hype based on speculation. So this person here stole Nook's headgear from Rainbow Six Siege and has a ghillie-netted sniper rifle. They're laying in some tall grass next to a rock. There appears to be some kind of red building behind them, and this makes me almost think of Creek from Call of Duty Modern Warfare, or sorry, whoops, Call of Duty 4 the first Modern Warfare game. That map looks a lot like this. In fact, the first time I saw this, I thought, that's a Creek remake. And so maybe not. I'm just gonna say that it's likely that Modern Warfare will ship with Call of Duty 4 maps. This also could be the map Overgrown, but I don't know, we'll talk about that later. The fact that they chose this screenshot as like the first one to show for the multiplayer tells me that we, and this is just speculation, I know, we might be in for a slower paced Call of Duty, more along the lines of Call of Duty 4, you know, maybe Call of Duty Ghosts even, some of the larger maps in Modern Warfare 2, you know, I get that vibe, and maybe that's just wishful thinking, but you guys know me, I like Call of Duty games to have a wide variety of maps, from small, linear, symmetrical, to large, messy, and unpredictable. And the fact that they're showing somebody camping, you know, for their first screenshot, tells me that, well, maybe we are really in for a slower pace, more tactical, methodical Call of Duty, and this isn't going to be the breakneck pace of the last several entries. This shows me that's a return to form, and it makes me happy. So perhaps this is Creek, perhaps this is telling of the pacing of the game. I really hope in this game that I can lay in a bush with like a ghillie suit on, with like a sniper rifle, and snipe people if I want to, rush with SMGs if I want to, you know, camp with a shotgun, I don't know, like, I really hope that I get a wide variety of play styles available to me in Modern Warfare, and that starts with map design, and I don't know, this map makes me think either Creek or Overgrown from COD 4, and I like that they're showing a methodical playstyle first. Next, we have this big motherfucker. This is a Juggernaut, and he needs no introduction, except for the fact that he's got a minigun, so that's very Call of Duty Ghosts mixed with like the Modern Warfare 3 Juggernauts, and I love that. I don't know if the Juggernauts in Modern Warfare 2 had miniguns, I don't think they did, but I know that they did in Call of Duty Ghosts, so that's kind of cool to see. And this map really makes me think Crossfire until I look a little bit closer, and it kind of reminds me of Ambush. You guys remember this map? Like, think about that one area on the map that has the turret, and it kind of looks over like the edge of the map. I don't know, this kind of reminds me of Ambush or maybe Crossfire. But Crossfire doesn't really have these trees. It could maybe be a remake of District or Strike, but it definitely gives me COD 4 map vibes again. So either they're following the same philosophy as COD 4, or you're looking at remastered, retailored maps for Modern Warfare. I haven't watched any of the COD YouTubers talk about these two photos yet, so maybe people have already made these connections, I don't know. But the reason I like this picture of the Juggernaut and why this makes me happy is that it's not just nostalgia bait. Now you could argue that Modern Warfare 2 and 3 aren't exactly new games, but this tells me that we're not just getting rehashed COD 4 if we have a Juggernaut suit available to us to play with. That's a little bit more modern Call of Duty. That's Modern Warfare 3, that's Call of Duty Ghosts, and that makes me very happy. Because that means they're taking cues from other Infinity Ward games. They're taking cues from Modern Warfare 3 and maybe COD Ghosts, and that is a net positive in my opinion. Because this Call of Duty looks like a return to form, and I'm okay with that, and I'm happy about that, generally. But I don't want it to be complete nostalgia bait, you know, a ton of rehashing, so I like that they're taking cues from later Modern Warfare games and Call of Duty Ghosts here. I imagine that the reason they chose these pictures was to tell us something, and I don't want to act like a conspiracy theorist, I don't want to act like I'm seeing things that aren't there, but I think it's worth noting that they chose somebody laying in tall grass with camouflage and a sniper rifle, and a Juggernaut in a top-story building with a minigun. It's almost like saying, hey, look, this isn't like the last several Call of Duties you've played, and this also just isn't a rehash of 2007. Now, some of you might be like, well, I'm not playing this game if it's going to be filled with ghillie suit snipers laying in tall grass, and some of you might be saying that a Juggernaut doesn't matter. And to that I say, if you don't want to play Call of Duty with ghillie suits and tall grass, then just keep playing Black Ops 3, Black Ops 4, Infinite Warfare. I honestly don't know what else to say. I like a Call of Duty game that has some maps that allow this style of gameplay and some maps that allow more rapid, quick styles of gameplay. You know, that's the variety that I'm hoping for. So we get big maps with tall grass where you can snipe with a suppressor, and it's really cool for that. And then you get a map that's more tight urban engagements, and that variety is important to Call of Duty. So hopefully, because they got some of the old Infinity Ward guys back on this game, hopefully they know about that design philosophy, and that's what they're going to go for. If every map forces the same range of engagements, I will be incredibly disappointed with this game. Okay, so it's also worth noting that they apparently confirmed that everything that's been shown off about Call of Duty Modern Warfare has been shown off on a base PlayStation 4. Meaning that this is not an Xbox One X, a PS4 Pro, or a high-end gaming PC. They said everything that they've shown to the public has been on a base PS4. I don't know exactly how truthful that is or how accurate that is, but if that's true, and these screenshots they also said are from in-game. This is not in-engine, this isn't a render that they just did for this screenshot. This was in-game. Then we are in for a stunning looking Call of Duty. Now, it's a little blurry in some areas, and maybe that's why they're not showing us gameplay. They might still be working on it. They are using a new engine that they've been working on for 5 years. They've been 5 years in the making with this engine, and they're likely trying to get it perfect before they start showing off gameplay. Because if it's blurry, or there's these weird artifacting effects with the graphics, or maybe texture popping, they don't really want to show that. Speaking of popping, that pop in my throat really hurt. I don't know what that was. You might think, well, that was your chair. No, that pop sound came from my throat. That hurt. But yeah, I like to see that they're not just rehashing COD 4 with this minigun wielding Juggernaut, and I also like to see that we might be seeing a return to more slow-paced, variety-filled gameplay that we saw in previous Call of Duty games, because honestly, every Call of Duty game forcing the same type of engagements has been wearing on me, and I like the fact that they chose a ghillie-suited sniper that's camping and a minigun wielding Juggernaut. That tells me that we're in for something not like the previous games, which is more than good in my opinion. Anyway, thank you guys so much for watching, and I will see you when I see you. Goodbye. Notice that I didn't ask for your opinion on these pictures. I don't want it. I don't really care. I'm gonna be honest with you guys. I don't really care.